Okay guys, how are you all doing? Hey, it's that time of year again. It is Halloween. So we're going to be checking out another cool project. Hope everybody has a safe and wonderful Halloween. We're going to be checking out the MediaTek device again. This is going to be another video on that. Been trying really hard to get this video out today. Hopefully barring any problems, computer issues. I had my computer was in a boot loop there for a little while, so hopefully this video makes it out today. If not, we'll celebrate Halloween tomorrow or whenever I can get it out. But anyway, I'm hoping I can get it out today. It's going to be a pretty cool project. We're going to be checking out. Basically, have any of you had a problem with trying to keep track of your kid? I don't know about you, but in my neighborhood, when everybody goes out trick-or-treating and stuff, a lot of times we tend to go in groups, and we'll put a whole bunch of people together and we'll run around in a group, and sometimes it's hard to keep track of which kid is yours in the dark. So we've got a solution for that, and we're going to be digging into it here right now, right here on misperry. So you guys take care, relax, enjoy it, and have a safe and fun Halloween, and we'll see you. Alright guys, we're going to be taking a look at the code on this guy here. So what we got to do is I actually just used one of the already made libraries or examples that was already here. If you go to examples, we go all the way down to the Bluetooth. And if you haven't seen my initial video on how to set up all this, I do have a video. I'll put a link in the description on how to set up your Arduino software to talk to the LinkItOne, and you get all these cool examples. What we're going to be looking at is the Bluetooth server. Okay, is what we'll be looking at. This is basically the one that I used and modified is the code here, and so that's what we're going to be going through. All right. So it includes the lbt.h, which is the Bluetooth one, the Bluetooth server header file, and then you have to define the name of your Bluetooth server. This will be the name that will be broadcast whenever you do a search, like on your smartphone or tablet or whatever Bluetooth enabled device that you're wanting to connect. Also, it starts a serial port so you can do some debugging, which is very nice. However, I did realize when I was working on this that while it's tethered to your PC, which I mean while it's plugged in USB to your PC, you have to open up the serial monitor here, and when you pop that open, then it will actually begin running. Now once you've got it disconnected and you've got it running off of the battery, like I'm going to show you here in a little bit, it will go ahead and start up and be just fine. But anyway, so that's a good debugging deal here, as it sets up a serial port for that. In our setup, this is where we're going to set up our pin mode, pin 4, which is going to be the pin that we're going to be using to turn the LEDs on and off. We're also going to set that low initially to start with, so that's what that does. And we're setting up our serial stuff. Oh, we spit out starting Bluetooth, yada, yada, yada. And it's basically all the startup stuff for starting up all the Bluetooth in here. So it even will output, this is in the serial port, it'll output its address. This is the a get function that will pull in all the different address information, so all the Bluetooth MAC address and all that jazz, so you know which one to connect to, because this does two different Bluetooth pieces. It'll do the SPP and that other one. It's like starts with a G. I can't remember which one it is, but it'll do both. You want to connect to the MAC address that is associated with the SPP transfer of data. So that's what this is doing. This will spit this out, like I said, in this serial monitor. Of course, well, I don't have it connected right now, so it's going to tell me that I can't open up a serial port. But anyway, you'll hit that button, it'll bring up your serial monitor, and you'll be able to see that information. So it'll wait for a little bit for the SPP client to connect, give you all the appropriate error messages and whatnot if it can't find or it can't connect for whatever reason. And then we've also got the main code that we got going in here. Now they put this if sent deal. They're basically doing some checking to see if information has been sent, received. I'm basically, you'll see later on, I'm jumping around that. I haven't had time to completely clean this all up because I wanted to get this video out for you guys today. So anyway, so what this does is it comes in here and it reads just a buffer is basically what it's going to do. Of course, this stuff is just some stuff that's been commented out, but it creates a buffer that's 32 basically characters long, and it will read that in basically it's whatever you send. So that's what that's for. There's also I put a set function. That was something else I was trying. I'll clean this code up when I post it, and it'll be a lot cleaner than this. But basically, you'll get the gist of what I'm doing here. Like I said, all I did was just take the original one that was in the example and just kind of tweaked it a bit. So here we go. Here's where it takes and sees if the server is available, then it'll read the buffer, and then it breaks out of that loop. So basically, it will sit here at this read indefinitely till something comes in, and then it will break out of the loop, and it will come on down here, and it'll display out in our serial monitor. It'll display what it was that it read, as well as it will go down here and it will go ahead and set if it's a 1, it'll set our pin 4 high, and then down here if it is a 2, it'll set the pin low. So that's all you have to send to the guy across the Bluetooth is you either send it a 1 or a 2, and that'll turn it on and off. And then once it's done, it does this loop server, which lets you know that it's looping back around. I set our sent variable to 0. Like I said, I'll probably take this out. I'll probably take this if statement out of there. And make sure and test it, make sure it all works. But I'll probably take this if out of there because we really don't need it in this application. So anyway, that's basically how the code works. It's actually pretty darn simple. What I was doing here is I'm looking at the first character in that array because that's the character I know that we're going to be using. Instead of doing some sort of string compare or something like that, I'm just going to look at the first character since I know that all we're doing is sending and receiving a single character. That's all that's doing. This buffer 0 is just looking at that first character in the array. So that's pretty much all there is to the code. Again, like I said, I will post this on the project code link, which you can get to from the channel. Should be on the channel banner in the lower right-hand corner. If not, you can always go to About My Channel, and there's a whole host of links, and one of those is the project code link, where you can download this software. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much all there is for the software. So let's head on over to the bench, and we will check out how the hardware is hooked up. Okay guys, we're going to go ahead and check a look at the light module that we are going to use. Have you ever seen these little ever seen these little flashlights? These are cheap. Oh, you can get them for, well, I think we got a giant pack of them for like $5 or something like that on sale. And they're a little light. There we go. It's starting to work. This one's being kind of flaky. But anyway, see these are great little guys. Well, I had one of these break. Actually, if you unscrew them, battery thing comes out. You can actually get this out. You can actually press on it and it'll pop apart and pull that out. And what you get is you get this little circuit board. See if I can't zoom in. I don't have a macro lens, so this could get blurry. We'll zoom in until it blurs and then we'll back up. Oh, hey. There it was. It blurred. Come on, autofocus. Hopefully the autofocus will figure itself out. There we go. Okay, so what I've done is there is this outer ring, which is basically the ground. The inner ring is basically the anode of all the LEDs, and as you can see, the LEDs just stretch between those two. There's all the LEDs. So there's a resistor here. This is about a 150 ohm resistor. I changed it out. There was one previously, and I went in and changed it out with a bigger one. So your VCC comes in here, so your 3 volts, and then that's what will go to the anode side. Then for the cathode, that's where you're going to put the transistor. Now I have a schematic of this. It's just a simple pull-down network is what it is. We'll show it right now. Okay, so now that we've seen kind of basically how that's going to work, we're going to take and look at it here. So what I've done is I've tied the drain, okay, to the outside ground plane here, or basically the cathode of all the LEDs.
and I've tied the source to, I don't know if you can see that bare copper right there. This was an old USB cable is what this was, and I just cut the ends of it off. And so it had the ground cable in it. So I took the ground cable and tied that to the source, okay? And then the white, I used that for the gate of the transistor, which that then goes back to pin 4 of the MediaTek LinkItOne. So that's how that works. So we're going to take and then put a resistor. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a resistor right here. There's a 100K resistor that I've set right in between gate and source, and that's going to be that bleeding resistor. Now, what this little tin thing is I found on the internet there was a company that sold these little, they were kind of like almost like a little makeup case, and I just basically drilled the holes for the LEDs, and it fit through perfectly. And the end of it, I just drilled a hole in the side of the case to slide the wire through. I put a piece of duct tape in the bottom so that way the contacts don't short out against this aluminum enclosure. And if you notice, it fits right together and becomes this cool little case that holds it. It's pretty cool. So anyway, that's basically how to construct the light module. And like I said, you can put like a piece of Velcro or something on the back of this and stick it to a piece of clothing, or you could maybe solder a safety pin on the back of this and make it where it's a safety pinnable thing and put it on the front of your kid's t-shirt or something like that, or front of their costume or on a hat or something, and then that way it'll light up and you'll be able to see it with those super bright LEDs. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to check out how to put the LinkItOne together and mount that all up, and what we're going to mount it in and things like that. Okay guys, so now it's going to come to the casing portion of this, how to put this into a case. I found that, you know, all electronics people, they love Altoids tins. You know why? It's because stuff fits inside them, and they're metal, so they're durable. But look at this. Perfect. I can even close it. Perfect. Fits in there perfectly. I wonder, hey, you MediaTek guys, did you guys design this thing to fit in Altoids tins? I'm just saying, I'm just wondering. Alright, so the idea is we will plug the battery in, curl it under, set it under the back, probably put some tape on it, tape it down. See these two holes right here? I don't know if you can see that, but there's two holes. That's what we're going to use to mount it. We're going to double back stick tape the antenna to it as well. Plug this in, and that should all fit nicely inside. I've gone ahead and marked the two holes right here. Basically just took this, laid it inside, took my good old pen here, marked me a couple of holes. Now we're going to go ahead and we will probably set those and then drill them. So let's go get some drilling done. Okay guys, we are back. We've got our two holes punched. I even punched a hole in the side here so we could get our cable to poke through from our other little device. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take and hopefully assemble this little guy. So we're going to take this piece, we're going to plug the battery in. Now, as long as you have this switched towards the USB port, this big switch, this big old sucker right there, it won't turn on because that's the main switch for the battery. So we can plug the battery in, and also if you flip the switch towards the battery and then plug in the USB, it'll charge the battery. Okay, so now we got all this stuff plugged in. We're going to tape it down. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some masking tape, some regular old masking tape, and just double it over, because I'm going to want to be able to take this back apart. This isn't going to be the only project I make out of this guy. Okay, so we'll just double back that and stick it on there. So now, take our battery, loop it around like so. You can't just get it out of the way. Get it to more or less stick in place, because really once we screw this thing down, it's probably not going to go anywhere. So let's get another piece for the antenna. Okay, take this, double it over. This is hard doing this through the viewfinder. And then we'll stick it to the antenna. Stick that guy in place. Alright, so now it's kind of one unit. Okay, so let's go ahead. And I found, I mean to bump the camera, these little guys are basically out of like a, I don't know, serial port or whatever. It's those little connectors, because I'm actually out of standoffs right now. I need to order some more. So I'm going to use these. I'm going to take these apart. Okay, oops, take the little nut off. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put this sucker inside. Alright. There we go. Looks like our holes are lining up pretty good. Drop this through. So we can get it to see if it's going to be long enough. With the battery, it may not be long enough. No, looks like it's not going to be long enough. So we're going to have to find some other screws, which, not to worry, I think I've got some laying around here somewhere. Okay, guys, I fished out some 440 screws and some nuts. So what the idea is we're going to, whoops, get in frame here. We're going to put this guy through here, okay, which he will come out on the side. Now, we need to take up this distance here. So that's where we come up with, take and double nut and basically make a spacer for all of this. So once I get this to thread on here, hopefully it will. Come on. Well, it feels like it's threaded. There it goes. Must have been a little bit burred maybe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this guy down to where it's just about even, and then we're going to run another one down so that way it kind of locks it into place. This one's going to do the same thing. Must be a burr on that screw. And that's going to give us, I believe, the spacing that we're going to need. About like that. Okay, so I'm going to do that to the other side. Just through there. Now, obviously, you would just buy spacers that are the correct size. However, I don't have the correct size spacers. So, next best thing is you just make them. Now, if I had time and a lathe, well, I have a small precision lathe. I could build a spacer out of some stock that I have laying around, but yeah, well, this will work fine. So, get that on there. Now we're going to see if we can't get this in here. Fun part's going to be looking through the viewfinder and finding the holes. So, let's see if I can't. There's one. I can't get this in here. But I can get the other hole lined up. There it is. Should be able to push that right down in there. Tuck this little wire. There we go. A little wire in there. And there it is. We should be able to thread our other wire up through there once we get her locked down. So now we'll take, and what we would probably do is I'm probably going to mark these and cut these short so that way they're not sticking out and poking you in the side. So we'll go ahead and mark these, cut these off, and then I'll be right back. Alright? Alright guys, got it all mounted up, fed the wire through, plugged her all in. I even went ahead and switched it on. And right now, I am paired to it with my phone. I'm using the Bluetooth app. I'll show you which one I use. I use the Bluetooth SPP Pro app. You can download it. I'll put a link in the description for the download. I've set up 2 buttons. You can come in here, give you a brief deal of how to do this, and say button set. Click on a button. I set it up to send a 1, just like what the code accepts, and a 2 for the off, just like the code. And then you come up here and you say button test, and now we're ready to do it for real. So I should be able to now hit on, and we have light, and off. And we don't have light. Sweet cake. So there you go. There's the real demo. Now all there is to do is just close this up. Perhaps put it on a belt of some sort. Maybe put some sticky, or maybe I was thinking about grinding slots in it. Maybe running a belt through it so you can put it on a belt, and then taking this, slapping a piece of Velcro onto the back side of it. Voila! like they say in Australia, Bob's your uncle, right? All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this build. This was very, very fun for me to go ahead and build. Take care. Be safe out there on Halloween. Happy Halloween to all. And hope you guys have a fun, safe trick-or-treating experience. Those of you that have seen that watch me do this, hopefully you make one of these if you're wanting to track down your kid. I've noticed that this will even work not just for Halloween, but like my son, he's in Boy Scouts, and we go on campouts and stuff, and sometimes it's very hard to keep track of your kid. This is kind of a cool, fun, innovative way to do it. Now, I will say that this kit is fairly expensive. I would say that probably I wouldn't pick the LinkItOne specifically for this. It was just a cool project to do with the LinkItOne, but you could do it with other means. Like I said, you could do it with the Bluetooth. Go check out my Bluetooth video on just using a regular Bluetooth module with a chip or even an Arduino or something like that. You could, but really, I'd say you'd use it with a chip, and then that way it only costs you like $20-30. And then you could also do it with the Intel Edison. It has a Bluetooth module on it. You can also do it with a Raspberry Pi. However, you have to buy a Bluetooth module to go onto it. So that might be the most expensive or another expensive way to go. But the fact of the matter is, it is really cool. It is really fantastic to be able to create something with this guy. It does have the capability. Other videos that we'll be coming out with, I'm going to really try to use the real power of this LinkItOne kit and really tie all of it together to show you a very good solution for this guy. So stay tuned. Those are coming up. All right, guys, I have rambled on long enough. Take care. Thanks for watching. If you have one of these, show me what you have built. Go ahead and give me a link in your comments down below, and I'll go check it out. I'd love to see what you guys make with all this stuff that's similar to what I've got to play with. I want to give a big thanks to MediaTek for doing this partnership with Instructables, and I want to thank Instructables for selecting me to receive one of these. This kit is pretty cool kit. We are just barely scratching the surface of what this thing can do currently. So we're going to be digging even deeper into the MediaTek LinkItOne. So guys, check me out on Instructables. Check me out on YouTube, obviously. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Got more stuff like this out there, definitely. And also check me out on Twitter, because I like to post what I'm doing, or I try to keep people in the loop. If I'm going to be gone for a while, I try as much as I can to post stuff, as well as other funny things and interesting stuff that I have. I'll post on the good old Twitter. So check me out there. Follow me if you will. Always leave a like on these videos if you enjoy them. That helps the channel immensely. Helps me be able to get more stuff in here and purchase more things to play around with, to bring you guys some cool new technologies that are out there. So again, guys, I thank you very much for watching. With that, as always, that ought to do it. Take care, guys. We'll see you next time.